Greetings all. Well, I see there's a bunch of container ships stacked up off the ports on the West Coast. They are even moving a little bit of this up to the port in Duluth, Minnesota. It's amazing. Sometimes I forget that Minnesota is actually a seaport. Oh, yeah, what a mess, huh? I guess there are a lot of reasons why this happened, but it definitely exemplifies the fact that we are a consumer culture. In my mind, I look at all those ships, all those containers, all the stuff coming in, everybody going, oh man, worry about the holidays. Oh, there's scams going on where people are, claiming that these popular toys or games that they have them, and it's fake. They don't have them, shortages on all sorts of things. Shortages of chips, well, that's pretty important. I'm sure your, 8-year-old figures that shortages of their favorite toy for Christmas is probably also quite important. It's all point of view. Although, when it comes to enjoyment and toys, I think we could probably have a little more flexibility there than we do with computer chips. If the truck needs a chip to run, there's no way around that. You have to go back in time, point breaker ignitions with a coil, oh boy. So I'm looking at it, and I'm always talking about, how some people are consumers and others are producers, and how I really don't like being classed as a consumer at all. For me, that's a diss. That's an offensive. If you say, oh, Bill, you're a consumer. Yeah, I consume. But I consume for survival. I don't survive to consume. This is a very important distinction. This camera, I consume this camera. I have a reason why I consumed it. Without it, there wouldn't be a video show on YouTube with my face in it, blah, blah. These things are pretty much everything in my life that I'm purchasing and bringing in is kind of directly connected to some sort of a need. Every once in a while, you can get me to buy a guitar or a guitar effect gizmo just for the heck of it. Just because it makes me feel good to blow some money. I know how that feels. I'm born in America, right? Yeah, we know what it's like to go out and go on a shopping spree. I've enjoyed it myself, but truth is, the older I get, I really don't go on guitar shopping sprees anymore. I have too many of them. What would I do with them, Something else to put in my will. I really don't do much of that. And, I've continued living a normal and happy life. I didn't need the latest Apple smartphone. It wasn't important to me, so on. Yeah, we get tied into this whole thing, of having the latest stuff, new stuff, more stuff. All it does is it funnels you right into the planned obsolescence industrial base, whatever you want to call it, Aldous Huxley had it pinned down real good in Brave New World, clothing that just falls apart in no time, clothing made out of paper, so it has no lifespan, so you have to constantly keep buying more stuff, and and he had it pegged. That was back in the 1920s, he wrote that book. He saw it coming. It was kind of already there. Ford had invented the Model T, That whole culture has terrible shortcomings. It's hard on the environment because when you're constantly making stuff and consuming it, you're making waste, you're destroying stuff, you're using up materials and so on and so forth. We do not have a proper recycling system. If we really did, then every bit of everything, that couldn't be composted, eaten, or fed to your pet, should have a home, a way that it can go back down through the waste stream and be repurposed again. And things are not that way. They're going the other direction fast because, the last goofball got in a pissing contest with China, and they were taking all our waste to recycle, and now they're not taking it anymore. I don't know how many of you are aware that there is no recycling program in the United States unless it's, a beer can or a beer bottle where you got to deposit. Cardboard and paper are still being dealt with here, but all the rest of that plastic waste, all that is ocean pollution, man. There's nowhere for it to go. It never should have really been to begin with, and it's definitely the giant mat of plastic floating out here in the Pacific Ocean is just exactly what happens when you have a consumer culture, as we have, where we have consumers chomping at the bit for the latest shiny thing to be rolled down the sidewalk. It has to do with personal emptiness. I guess a whole lot of people don't realize that we are empty. We make ourselves. I'm a hoy-toy, man. I'm just this, goofy guy wandering around with a sack on my shoulder, tossing things in the bag. It's everything I find out there that I think is cool, I pick it up and I make it part of me, But I'm nothing. I'm the bag, or the man carrying the bag, I'm not the things that I've collected over time. And so we naturally have a emptiness about us. Some people think they have to fill it. And they like to fill it with, sex, drugs, possessions, money, power. Oh, big time right now. God, crazy people trying to fill themselves with power and control. They just don't realize that they are empty, and that's natural. You can't fill the hole. It can't be filled. It especially can't be filled with the latest junk that's sitting offshore in L.A. So my thought on this is that I believe that there have been some really good changes that have come about due to COVID. I'll talk about them maybe in some other video, but I really do think that there have been some changes, like some of this remote work stuff and so on. I think these are positive things that have come about due to our situation. I think this is another one. Who really needs most of the junk that's sitting in those containers? Who really needs it? Not too many of us. If it's your underwear sitting offshore, yeah. But then again, if you'd bought stuff that was made in Kansas, you'd probably be wearing it by now. So I think this is a great time because this is a gardening channel. We have people watching this channel, listening right now, who are actually, to some extent, producers in a society of consumers. Yes, you gardeners, you produce stuff. You usually will produce way more than you actually need. Why else do baskets of zucchini show up on doorsteps in the Midwest every summer, right? Yeah, like, for instance, Ellen has been actively harvesting and drying pineapple. Pineapple, in between layers of banana, taking down the fruit from our plants at this time of the year, and everything that's not being sold directly to the consumer or wholesaled out or being consumed by us is all turning into cut and dehydrated fruit that then could be stored, and we can sell that out for the rest of the year, or give it away as gifts, or do whatever we're going to do with it. And so you better believe, if you know the Green Garden guy, around Christmas, y'all can expect to get yourself a bag of dried white pineapple, and you're going to love it. Trust me. You'll never had anything that was that darn good. Most of the people who have experienced dried white pineapple from this farm are always, Bill, have you got more? Can you sell me more? I have people waiting in line. It's limited. The main reason we don't have an endless supply is that Ellen is the dried white pineapple maker, and she will hit a point every year that her wrists, her arms, and everything from cutting up the pineapples, She hits the limit, and she is hitting the limit now. And so that's pretty much the end of the dried white pineapple for the year. I know she's got about 20 really ripe fruits sitting here at the moment in the carport that I guess she's going to take them down to the post office this morning and see if anybody over there needs some pineapple because she's tired of cutting. All right, long story short, right? You all got the same situation, the heck with this stuff sitting off the port if that was your Christmas. Black Friday this year, I can't even imagine. This is something that to me it's been abhorrent. I hate it. I'll admit, I guess I'm not the world's biggest guy on holidays and stuff, but there's a reason why we have holidays, and they are important to us, and some of them commemorate things, positive things that happened in time and so on. They're great times to get together with the family, sit down and have a darn picnic or whatever, talk story over the table. They were pushing Black Friday up till it was, back to back with Thanksgiving and opening the stores so people come out on Thanksgiving instead of sitting down with the family. I don't care if you like the Pilgrim story, it's probably a kind of a half-lie dumb story anyway. They probably had pawpaws. But, it's not the story. It's what we do. I say at Thanksgiving, get together. It's a family thing. Friends gather, over good food. They talk, hang out, exchange ideas. That's the good part. That's what these holidays are really, really good for, is that sort of human and family interaction. And have it robbed from us by Walmart saying, okay, it's Black Friday, come run in and get your television. No, it's not. People standing outside overnight in the cold, freezing, camping out on a sidewalk so they can get a chance at buying an Xbox, $20 cheaper than they could have gotten at, some other place if they didn't wait that way. What does it say about us? To me, it's very depressing that this is so exciting and important to people. They got nothing else in their lives that means more than going out and buying some stuff, Let's take those apples down from the tree right now. They're dead ripe just about anywhere in the country. Let's cut them and dry them as dried apple. Let's make apple butter. Let's, make apple cider. Ooh, home squeezed apple juice. Whatever it might be. Got grapes out there. Dry them out. Make some raisins. Believe me, there are so many things that I've done in my garden that really are too much work. I could go to the store. I could buy that cheap, but the stuff in the store never compares. It never compares to what I produce out of the garden when I make these products. So it's worthwhile. I suppose, most of us have had dried fruit over the years, right? But most of you have never had fully ripened, perfectly loved, dehydrated fruits. They're a gift. Ellen's mom, she cannot get a jar of pickled jalapenos, the Mexican style, with the carrots, the onions, the oil and that has the same snap, the same bite that the old-time jalapenos used to. And I agree with her. I testify. The jalapeno has been deprogrammed for years to match the gringo tongue. So we pulled the heat out of that pepper by a big long shot. I still have the old-time seed. Yeah, I still grow the old-time fiery jalapenos, and I pickle them every year with carrots and onions and send Ellen's mom a couple of jars of these things. Well, big deal, right? A big deal, but she loves it. You know, she's getting on, I don't know, 89 years old. These things put fire under her butt. She's still walking because of those peppers. So I'm encouraging everybody who might have been saying, oh my God, how can I get this for that, or blah, 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 you know, and worrying about the stuff that's been back. You know, you don't need the stuff. Mostly you don't need the stuff. It's time to reconcile. There are good things that are happening because of COVID. This stuff that's sitting there is pretty much irrelevant, really, to your lives. And it's time to start thinking about, you know, why is this important to us? What kind of lifestyle do we lead? You know, we got to have all this crap coming in from China all the time, you know, even the manufacturing, the way it's done and so on, I understand is not real cool. They don't have any trade unions over there, for one. But anyway, there you have it, folks. I'm encouraging all you gardeners as producers to go on out there in the garden and, I don't know, dry some oregano, dry some parsley, you know, and give some organic herbs for Christmas. You know, use nice little bottles. Somebody's got to make the bottles. Well, they make them in Ohio. Tell you what, a lot of glass made in the U.S. You'd be able to get your hands on that stuff. Yeah, you know, do a little value-added situation there, and it comes from the heart. It's something you produced as a producer. It's good practice for you to turn the tables on this consumer society. And practice being a producer. Make stuff. I mean, you know, if the people who get it don't feel or understand the value of what you've done, you know, then I scratch them off the Christmas list. That's the kind of guys you want to talk to anyway. Yeah, for sure. I know that we have people here chomping at the bit to get their hands on some of the things, mouths on some of the things that we produce here. And that's the way I like it. And I think you'll have the same experience that you may have your friends and relatives reminding you year after year. You remember when you... Yeah, they might do that. All right, folks. You have a great week. Hope the weather's better. Aloha.